Methane is a colorless, odorless gas. Methane is the primary component of natural gas, making up about 80 to 99% of natural gas. Today, methane makes environmental headlines because it is also a greenhouse gas that retains heat, warming the planet. It is primarily emitted by the decomposition in landfills, swamps, rice paddies, and from the digestive tracts of cows. Today, methane is also emitted from defrosting permafrost in polar areas, and since this region is defrosting fast, methane emissions from this process is happening at alarming rates. It is also emitted from natural gas and petroleum systems, coal mining, and some industrial processes. Methane is a powerful greenhouse gas. Depending upon the source, methane retains between 20 to 30 times more heat than carbon dioxide. Methane can remain in the atmosphere for about 9 to 15 years, which is shorter than carbon dioxide's 50 to 200 year life. Today, methane is being emitted at alarming levels from defrosting permafrost in the Arctic region, with a lot of potential frozen Arctic tundra that can defrost, and the poles are warming faster than the rest of the planet. Methane emissions from defrosting permafrost are expected to continue to increase. This is a major concern of scientists who think this relatively new greenhouse gas emission could put climate change past the point of no return. The production of some food emits methane. Rice is a food staple for about half the world's population, but rice paddies contain microbes that emit methane, and as the global population continues to increase, so will rice production and methane emissions from it. The digestive process of cattle also emits methane, which today accounts for about 16% of the world's yearly methane emissions. Like rice, with an increasing population, beef demand is increasing too, which means methane emissions from cattle is increasing too. Landfills are the biggest source of United States methane emissions, emitting about 1/3 of the United States methane emissions. Organic material decays or decomposes in landfills, which is a process that produces methane. So today, to combat these emissions and meet energy demands, some landfills are tapping into the landfill, sending methane directly to buildings that convert it into electricity. Today, a landfill in Oregon receives about 400,000 tons of trash from Seattle. The landfill used to burn off the methane, but today the methane is captured and piped into a plane where it powers combustion engines that generate electricity, providing Seattle enough energy to power 5,625 homes. Permafrost is permanently frozen subsoil in the Arctic region, which extends from the poles to about 60 degrees latitude. Today, scientists think this permafrost could be a ticking time bomb that could put global warming over the edge. Today, large areas of permafrost in the Arctic is defrosting, which is a process that releases methane. Methane in this region is estimated to be more than the carbon in the total global coal reserves. The concern is, with the poles warming faster than the rest of the planet, the positive feedback loop will play out. The more the poles warm, more methane will be released, which will warm the Arctic and the planet more, which will release more methane, which the experts fear could really be a global warming tipping point. Methane can also bubble up from the ocean floor. There is a lot of methane beneath the ocean floor that can be released if it is disturbed or if its internal pressure becomes too large. Oil drilling platforms have procedures for hitting a methane pocket. Research ships in the Arctic Ocean are reporting much higher methane levels than average and can see visible areas of sea foaming with methane that bubbled up from the sea floor. Other experiments have demonstrated that if the methane release was big enough, It can disturb a ship to the point of sinking it. Some think this could solve the Bermuda Triangle puzzle, because not only could this methane release sink a boat, but if the methane came in contact with a hot plane engine, it could cause an explosion. Methane is being released into the troposphere at such new alarming rates that it prompted the Global Methane Initiative. On October 1, 2010, 38 governments, the European Commission, the Asian Development Bank, and the Inter-American Development Bank launched the Global Methane Initiative to urge stronger international action to fight climate change while developing clean energy and stronger economies. But they could use individuals' help. So eat less beef, don't produce waste that will end up in landfills, and significantly reduce your carbon dioxide emissions so the poles stop warming and emitting alarming amounts of methane.